Wanted to talk about a genuine emergency. By emergency, I mean slow-moving emergency, not like tomorrow. However, it feels like tomorrow. And before I do this, let me state the bleeding obvious that you really, it's not 2019, not 2020, not 2021. You really have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to not know that this is going on. Completely oblivious! You know, with your head in the sand like an ostrich, not that ostriches actually stick their head in the sand, that there is a manufactured crisis of scarcity. There's a whole lot of divide and conquer going on, especially in the United States. Go around all of these controls that people are trying to push on you, like California is going to ban gasoline cars by 2035, even though, of course, it's just completely ridiculous. Like, that is somehow green. Lithium mining is insanely, wickedly dirty. Unless the energy is coming from nuclear, it's all coming from coal and other places. So you've displaced the zero-emission electric car. You've displaced it to the socket that you plug your electric car in, and you know it's being fed energy from the coal-burning power plant. That sounds really, really green. There's just so much lies. I mean, of course, the media and the government are not to be believed. They're always lying every time they move their lips. We're going to have to start developing local trading networks, kind of like the Amish, where they'd, when they have a barn raising, because a barn is like an impossible thing for a family or even two families to do, you like call in all the Amish neighbors from all the villages around, and they'd all come in for a few days and raise the barn. And some Amish guy you never heard of, you know, next year he needs a barn raising. Show up to raise his barn. It's so bad now, and I've said this jokingly even though it's entirely true, is that everybody is so divided against everybody else that you cannot get 3 Americans, or 3 Europeans really, together to agree that water is wet and the sky is blue. You can't do it! Hey, let's all have a meeting tomorrow. There's just 3 of us. You know, I tried to get 100 people, but I found 3 of us. And you get together, and as soon as people get together, say 3 Americans, they want to leave, or they're thinking about food or something. And everybody now is just struggling to pay the bills. I do get that. But you can't get 3 people to agree that water is wet. It's just completely impossible. All scarcity in the world is engineered as a means of control. Governments, of course, are producing these scarcities by shutting off pipelines, shutting down farming operations, taxing the living bejesus out of productivity, and deliberately causing food shortages and inflation. Inflation is going off the hook. That's a backwards tax. Yeah? There's the tax that you see out there. It goes up and down every year. And there's the tax where you got $100 in your safe. And it's like next year your $100 in your safe has the buying power of, say, $50. Isn't that neat how that works? Backwards tax. Money printing, of course, steals savings from absolutely everyone. Creates scarcity of the purchasing value of the dollar or the euro. All this is the bloody obvious. I'm getting the emergency here. All these fake as heck scarcities of food, fuel, gas for heating, fertilizer especially, coal. We can't have coal anymore, it's not green. Yeah, even though coal is actually the energy generated food charged an enormous amount of green electric vehicles. Do you know how dirty a lithium mine is? You know how much lithium Afghanistan's got? Like enormous mega amounts of lithium. Guess who's moving really hard on Afghanistan? Just, I'll give you one guess who it is. Just one guess only. Shipping containers have been a shortage. Cars, I've talked to various dealers, including one of which, I'm not going to say his name, anyways, the head honcho at Toyota in Richmond, Kentucky. He actually said that around here we are sharding bricks in fear of they can't get cars to sell. Trucks, cars, whatever, can't get them. Chip shortage. There has been no demonstrable evidence shown of a genuine chip shortage. Isn't that a beautiful excuse? there's a chip shortage. We can't build any cars till we get more. No, there's not. There's not. I don't know if you know it or not, but a large proportion of chips come from Taiwan. And I don't know if you know what's going on with Taiwan. I'll let you figure that one out on your own. You have to really have your head buried in the sand not to know what's going on. Thankfully, that's not the case in Kentucky like this. Oregon and Colorado literally criminalize rainwater collection on your own bleeping farm. Criminalize rainwater collection. That's not the case in Kentucky. I have my own spring water that comes out of my mountain. I'll be damned if some government flunky would tell me that I couldn't collect rainwater on my own land. It falls from the sky, and you don't want me to, oh, it's illegal for me to collect rainwater? I mean, how insane is that? They're building this super mega hospital out here. It's out just west of Hamburg. I know you don't know where I'm talking about. Mega place. It's almost like a huge government facility. Central Baptist Health, whatever. That's where they're going to make everybody sick, put them on pills, work extra hard, take more pills. They just turn everybody into a freaking zombie. They want everybody sick, taxed to death, and afraid. Divide and conquer, live in fear. I saw a bunch of people today. Outside is just hotter than hell with humidity because there was a rainstorm. Just outside. I even saw one person jogging yesterday. Jogging out in the hot. It was 92 degrees yesterday. They went, fear works really good on nihilists, people that don't have faith, whatever you think of faith and religion, okay, which I don't really care. The people that are the most afraid are the people with the least faith or no faith at all. That's not my opinion, by the way. That is a fact. Soy boy, passive-aggressive, zero faith nihilists living in fear so hard. Oh my God, oh my God. They are so afraid. And you can see these people. You just look past the face diaper. I can see spineless, zero faith, passive-aggressive, kind of like the people that work at Trader Joe's, passive-aggressive soy boys. They will comply to anything that they are told. Which, what these people do is none of my business. There's a genuine emergency going on. You really have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to not realize that there's 10 million versions of fake scarcity going on in the world right now. Resource shortage fakery. Here's something, by the way. Expect a tsunami of cutoffs. Record over 20 million Americans are behind on their power bills and face shutoffs at a cost, as the cost of electricity. My electric bill, I'm using even less power now, has doubled. This is Kentucky, not California. With inflation on top of that forcing families to choose between groceries and utilities. Record over 20 million Americans are behind on their power bills, and they're going to get their power, click, turned off. Oh yeah, old, before I get to this, I'm going to make an impression of an animal. Ribbit. Completely unrelated. Emmanuel Macron. Le head de la France, the head of France. This is what he said. You could go look this up. He said, we are going to have to, people are going to, except for him, right? And all the jet-setting people that tell us how we need to go green, and yet they jet-set around in their frigging gas-guzzling jets, $1 million jets. He said, we're going to have to accept an end of abundance. This is Macron's exact words. Oh, vive la France! An end of abundance. Here's the truth. There is no end of abundance. There is no end of abundance. There's plenty of food to go around. There's plenty of energy to go around. There's a small cabal of evil-minded, behorned, that was almost funny, evil-minded, despotic people that think they know what's best for the world, and they are generating up a fake resource shortage. It is 100% fake. There's no shortage of fertilizer, but there is, and the prices have tripled and doubled and quadrupled. It's fake. Don't tell me there's an actual shortage. There's not. There is no shortage of any of this stuff. The farmers will say, why should I plant crops? Tons and tons of farmers are saying this. They've been protesting this in the Netherlands and other places. What do you think Sri Lanka collapsed for? Shoomp. The farmers there said, why plant? I can't, the fertilizer's too expensive. If I plant and I don't use fertilizer, then I get like 1/4 of the year. Every year, every farmer on earth is lucky to break even. And now you say, well, you can't use fertilizer anymore. Why would I crucify myself planting these crops? This is not me talking. This are all these farmers talking. Why would I crucify myself to plant these crops when I'm going to get like 1/4 of the yield, depending on the type of crop? And not only not break even, I mean, I'm just not going to do it. Why would I do that? Nobody would do that. That's why they're not, whoa, we have a genuine food shortage. It is manufactured. You crucified the price of fertilizer. You told these people you can't use fertilizer when they're barely breaking even before. They're not going to plant crops. So that's genuine shortage. No, it is artificial. Well, how do we, if we want to crucify the world and create a fake shortage, I know, we'll nip it in the bud. We'll completely nix out fertilizer. We'll make it astronomically expensive, or tell people they can't use it anymore. The farmers, having sense, knowing that they could barely break even before, really can't break even now, and they're just going to say, to hell with that. I'm not going to plant anything. And they don't. That's not a real shortage. That's fake. All of this stuff going on right now is evil. We need to have local trading networks. I have, thankfully, and I put my money where my mouth is, and I've seen this coming. It's the reason why I sold everything, not nailed down, and bought land. People say, wait, you don't really own the land, you got to pay property taxes. So what? Still my damn land. I have spring water, multiple lifetimes of spring water, unlimited amount of trees for heating the cabin. I know how to plant food. I could get a cheap tractor. I could pull that out of my backside really easy. You don't need a tractor really if you just feed one person or a family. But if you want to have a trading network, and you plant more than you're going to eat, and you're going to trade Bob for his corn, and in exchange for Bob's corn, you're going to get Bob watermelon and tomatoes. Or you like lease out your land. Have enough land where like, Joe Schmuck here in the city that doesn't have any land, in exchange for planting food on your land, say Bob gets an acre of your land. He's going to give you some of his crops and a little bit of money. So Bob plants his crops, he gives some money to you and some of his food. You can the food that you can't eat, canning jars. These shortages are fake, and they are a slow-moving emergency. Kind of like lava rolling down the Mount Kilauea. It's like, it's not going to be here for a few days, but it's an emergency. We need to get the hell out. People need to make preparations for this emergency. You need to be hoarding food. What you do is none of my darn business, okay? Do whatever you feel is necessary. I got over a year's worth of food. And yes, non-perishable, like Mountain House meals, they are good for 30 years. That's not everything I got, but I got plenty of sprouting seeds, mung bean, alfalfa sprouting seeds. You know how much like a 1-pound package of alfalfa sprouting seeds, how much food you can make with that? It's an incredible amount. All of these shortages are fake. Did you really think that it's like totally coincidental that this New World Order cabal has developed an emergency, a slow-moving emergency for everything that human beings need to survive? Food, fuel, gas for heating, fertilizer, coal, shipping containers. Oh, there's a chip shortage. That's why we have no cars. There's a chip shortage. No, there's not. There is, but it's fake. There's an actual food shortage. Well, there's a real food shortage. I know there's a real food shortage, but it's still fake because they impose these evil limits from the cabal and the governments on fertilizer. And farmers are like, I'm not going to plant anything. Why the hell would I plant anything? I can't grow enough food. I have to have this fertilizer to barely break even. Without it, forget about it. They're not going to grow food. So you take the fake to generate the real. Fake fertilizer, can't use it, too expensive. You use the fake to create a real problem. Well, the problem is real. The problem is real, but the problem was generated from a fake source of causation, such as the case of fertilizer, fuel, coal, shipping containers, processor chips. These scarcities are not real. They're systems of control set up by evil cabals. You think that's a conspiracy theory? Then you have had your head underneath a rock. You are the one that's had your head in the sand. You're deaf, dumb, and blind. You think all of these fake shortages came all at once? Like, oh, it's totally coincidence that we got fuel shortage, a food shortage, gas for heating shortage, fertilizer shortage, coal shortage, shipping container shortage. They want you and me sick, tired, taxed to death, divided, and conquered us. You need to do just the opposite. You listen to the evil people and you do just the opposite. They should be like children, seen but not heard. It's like, oh, they want me sick and on pills and going to hospitals and divided against my neighbor and taxed to death. I'm going to do everything to do just the opposite of every one of those things. And then you're okay. Deny that. You cannot. Evil freaking governments.